Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, grab a pew. I feel like I'm going to have a coughing fit, you know. Let's try and carry on with this video. I haven't done a Manchester United video for a very long time because simply they don't get views. This is a channel that talks about the DCEU, superheroes, TV shows, films predominantly, so people don't come in to watch Manchester United. So I don't do Manchester United videos. I haven't done them for a very long time. I know many people are not going to come in to watch this video. It's not about views. It's about a Manchester United supporter talking to other Manchester United supporters, letting out what's inside of me. Pep Guardiola is the manager of Manchester City. Jurgen Klopp is the manager of Liverpool. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager of Manchester United. Do you see a pattern emerging here? Do you see a problem? Houston, I think we have a problem here. Manchester United have become a bargain basement football club, doing everything on the cheap. But when they do spend money, they get it so wrong. So what is the core of this problem? And don't worry, I'm going to talk about the Everton game in a moment. But what is the core of this problem? The core of this problem goes back to Sir Alex Ferguson, who became friends with two horse racing owners. They fell out over a damn horse. He'd already, when they were mates, brought them in to buy shares of the club so he could get a bigger stranglehold of the club. And when they fell out, they purposely sold their shares to the Glaziers out of being vindictive, right? And that is what took our club down this downward spiral. They come in, they bring in Woodward, the guy who kind of negotiated the deal for them to buy the club, and it's been downhill ever since. Remember Cristiano Ronaldo leaving? Do you remember that? Who did they replace him with? Antonio Valencia. Yes, Sir Alex Ferguson gave that iconic number 7 that Robson had, that Cantona had, right? That Ronaldo had, to Antonio Valencia. And he thought we wouldn't notice. It was a bargain basement purchase, and he's only just left the club. Good luck for the future, Antonio. You tried your best. You weren't good enough. In fact, you were okay under Sir Alex, but then you went downhill from the Moyes era. So let me go back to my point. Why did I remind everyone who the City manager is and who the Liverpool manager is? Well, let's look at Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was available after Sir Alex left. So who did we get? Jurgen Klopp or David Moyes? We brought in David Moyes. Why? Because he used to play for Sir Alex Ferguson at Aberdeen. I want you to think about that. Now, David Moyes was nicknamed Little Fergie. He was a great manager with Everton. Without him, Everton probably would have gone into receivership. That's how heroic he was for Everton. A really good man, a really good coach, but not a Manchester United manager. Yes, certainly don't pick him instead of Jurgen Klopp. Now, officially at the time, I remember Fergie doing an interview after he stepped down. Well, Jurgen Klopp actually wasn't available. He was available. All you had to do was give him a few sweeteners and he would have come to the club. But you didn't want to do that, Sir Alex, because you didn't want anyone independently running this club. From the moment Sir Alex stepped down, because let's look at Sir Alex. Sir Alex made miracles happen at Manchester United. He made dreams come true. He really did. But he was running the footballing side for 25 years. He was literally the bottle washer. He did everything at the club. That's why it all went so well, because a football man was running the football side of the football club. And for a time, Martin Edwards was running the business side and taking advantage of the success Ferguson was bringing financially. And it worked. And then David Gill did the same. And even Peter Kenyon, who was a right tosser, did a great job. But he wasn't running the footballing side. Woodward has been running the footballing side, bless him, right? That's a polite way of addressing him, bless him, since Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down. Didn't they think when Sir Alex stepped down, footballing man running our footballing side for 25 years, Shouldn't we bring in a director of football? Shouldn't we allow the manager to pick the players? Well, that's what's been happening. But he's also been making a lot of decisions on the footballing side. We needed a sporting director. We still do. So this club has been digging itself a grave ever since Sir Alex left. Now, it was so predictable. It's really one of those things. You have a manager for nearly 30 years running the club beautifully, but then when he leaves, there's going to be a downturn, isn't there? Because there isn't another Ferguson. You're not going to find another Ferguson, but at least get a manager, the right manager. Klopp could win the double this season. He could win the European Cup and he could win the Premier League. If he does that in such a short space of time, spending half the money, quarter of the money that Pep Guardiola has spent, and City, that will be sensational. Now, he was about 7 to 10 points clear earlier this season. So if they don't win, a lot of people are going to be looking at him and focusing some blame. But at the end of the day, with the amount he's spent, the achievements, even without trophies, are amazing. Pochettino at Tottenham as well. The rumours were we were going to get him to replace Mourinho. It didn't happen because I know for a fact he turned the role down. He didn't want to come to our club. Our club's a mess. Repeat after me. Manchester United is a badly run club. Now, for months now, I've been annoyed when other Manchester United YouTubers have been saying that, frustrated. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. Oh, it's Moyes. Oh, it's LVG. Oh, it's Mourinho. They were poor choices. There's no question about that. And I'm not going to go back and say they were great managers. They are great managers, but not for Manchester United. It's just as simple as that. Now, when Ferguson was leaving, people were saying, football's changed now. No one's going to stay at the club for 25 years. It depends who you choose. Now, there's two ways you can run a football club these days. You can bring someone like Guardiola, who's probably not going to stay there for 10, 15 years. But who knows? I mean, for Christ's sake, he's got his mates from Barcelona as sporting directors. They're running the footballing side together. It works because they know what they're doing. At Liverpool, I don't know Liverpool's setup, but it's pretty clear that it's run really, really well. But us, we just keep on making the same mistakes again and again and again. Phil Jones getting a 5-year contract has been documented. It's a joke. You know, let's look at what happened on Sunday. A 4-0 drubbing. We played without a heartbeat. But the issue is here. It's not about the players, right? Because players are like soldiers. They are. Now, we have got very ordinary players. Our players are nowhere near as good as the players at Liverpool and Manchester City. There's no question about that. And the players must take responsibility to a point what happened on Sunday and what happened. Because when Ollie first came in, he was playing the players to their strengths. He was playing them in the right positions. He was playing Martial in the right position. He was playing Rashford a lot further forward as a forward. But when the injuries came in, he started putting square pegs in round holes. And this has happened with Moyes, Mourinho, LVG. When they're unsure of themselves, they start playing the players to their weaknesses rather to their strengths. So all of a sudden, in the past month or so, we've been rubbish because we haven't been playing people like Rashford in the right position. And his confidence is going. Again, we're moving players around, and then we come back to the situation that... Sorry, I have to have my background. I'll carry on. You've got your players right. You've got to play them to your strengths. But Solskjaer hasn't been doing that in the past month. So you look at Solskjaer and you start to get concerned. On Sunday, we were losing, and he was making defensive substitutions. It just doesn't make sense at all. So you've got a poorly run club with a very, very inexperienced young manager who failed at Cardiff. He's done okay at Molde in Norway, but you and me could do okay in Molde. It's a very amateur league. It's not the Premier League. It's not La Liga. It's not the German league. You know, you're talking about a very low-level league. They must be laughing their guts out with the compensation they got. And this is typical of our club. Why the hell, right? And I was excited during those 13, 14 games unbeaten. I was excited. We were playing great. What we did at PSG was outstanding. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at it, right? Why make him permanent now? Why not wait to the end of the season, see what happens, and then make a decision? This appointment doesn't make sense. Now, at the end of the day, I was very excited about him. He looked like a mastermind. He looked like a really good manager, a good tactician. We were doing the right things. And I have to ask this question, and you lot are not going to like this. Was it him picking the team? Was it him doing the tactics? Or was it Sir Alex? And now he's made permanent, maybe he's making the decisions. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But how else can you explain how fundamentally flawed he's been tactically for the past few weeks? Nothing makes sense. So what's going on here? There is rumours of Mike Phelan being appointed as the technical director, the director of football. This is nuts. This is nuts, right? You've got Ashley Young, Phil Jones. These players should be nothing but bench players there for an emergency. But the truth of the matter is, we need a clear out. Now, Ollie's admitted this. Now, he's been asked if he's the man for this job. He says he is. He said that in the after-match press conference on Sunday, I'm going to be successful here. But some of the players won't be here to enjoy that success I'm going to have. That's really confident. That's great. I hope you are successful, Ollie, but you make me nervous. You make me nervous. It is as simple as that. I think we needed a high-profile manager. We did. Someone who's been there and done it. You're saying, but Mick, LVG, Mourinho, you're right. You've got to pick the right people. You've got to pick the right people for what you're attempting to do. Now, Pochettino would have been great, but I don't particularly think he's a long-term manager. Now, most managers are not long-term these days. Now, it could be that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be another gem. He could be another Guardiola, couldn't he? He could come in, he could start making good decisions in the summer, and we start to see something special happening at Old Trafford. But from what I can see right now, all I'm seeing is a club that's going to be in a dark tunnel for the next 20 years. Like Liverpool were when United were, pulling up trees and winning things. It's depressing, look. Our only saving grace is that we dominated football for 20 years and we can look back at what we achieved. But this is the problem. Also, you have to ask, why was Solskjaer brought in? Was he always brought in to be the permanent manager? And this is what I'm asking you. Have we been conned here? Was Fergie doing the tactics to get him the job and now he's actually making the decisions? I think that's interesting. I think I could have a point. But I could also be wrong with that situation. There are so many problems with this club. It is rotten from top to bottom and they have to make the right changes. Now, my personal preference would be for the Glazers to sell up to someone with so much money that we get someone in who wants to invest in the club and create a great team. Or do we have the Glazers? It's one of these problems, isn't it? We always think the grass is greener on the other side, but then when you cross the other side, the grass is black. So it's a big issue. What's best for this football club? What's best for this football club is if Ole Solskjaer is a success and we start doing this boot room situation where we get ex-professionals who play for us being managers, ones who are actually capable of managing a football team. That would be the best thing. I hope he's successful. He makes me nervous, but I don't know. I can't pick the future. The whole thing is extremely depressing, and there's so many issues within this football club. On Wednesday, we're playing Manchester City. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to thump us, if we're going to get a lucky win, or we're going to deliver a great performance. We know that we think Ollie's capable of that. But then again, if my theory is right about Ferguson doing the tactics, because it is interesting, isn't it, how confident we were in the first, few months of him being caretaker manager, and as soon as he's permanent. But the bad form began before he was announced permanent anyway. So it's very, very interesting how all of a sudden he's making odd tactical decisions, and before he was making bright decisions. It's very confusing, but all I know is right now, in this summer, we need a technical director. We need to buy 3 or 4 players. He's saying we're not going to buy 6 players. We can't get rid of the whole squad. It's going to take time. Ollie, if it's going to take time, you aren't going to last, son. You have got a squad full of cowards, bottlers, whatever you want to call them. They are not right for this club. They do not have the mentality or the guts to be Manchester United players, and they need to be replaced. You've got players like Pogba, you've got players like Martial, you've got players like Rashford with great ability, but they do not have guts. They are not brave players. Now, Leicester won the league with kind of lesser players than Manchester United have right now. That's a fact. It's because they had the manager and you had the other big boys weren't performing that season. But Leicester deserved that league. Now, why can't Manchester United at least challenge for the league with those players? It's a mystery. So you're going to get rid of these players and you're going to bring other players in. And what's the excuse going to be then? I don't know. All I know is we need leadership. We need a captain at Manchester United. What's going on? We haven't had a captain since Roy Keane. It's ridiculous. We're making Ashley Young captain. Valencia was captain when Ollie first came in, and now he's off. He's off, and the club haven't even officially announced he's gone. It's hilarious. It's like the Robin van Persie situation all over again. The whole thing is mystifying. We need to buy a captain. We need a midfield general. Fred is a really good player, but we need a captain. We need a midfield general. And all this thing about running these contracts down. When I used to hear YouTubers talk about it, I used to think they're talking nonsense. They'll sort it out. They'll sign them up. But they're not. Herrera is going to leave. De Gea could leave. This is crazy. Now the club has to replace these players. It doesn't make sense. The form of De Gea, concerning. Is he distracted by his contract? I don't know. You don't know. You don't know what's going on in these people's heads. It's a baffling situation. Meanwhile, we've got people like Alan Shearer trolling us on Twitter. A man who hasn't even managed a Coca-Cola can before. It's an absolute joke. It really is. They're laughing at us, and we deserve to be getting it. We deserve to be getting it because as a football club, we've done the wrong things. And who's the people with the broken hearts every Saturday or Sunday? It's us. We understand we can't win the league every year. We understand for now we can't be the team that we used to be. But at least challenge for the league. At least get top 4. We're struggling for top 4. Manchester United should at least comfortably be finishing top 4. Say what you want about Wenger, but for years when they weren't winning trophies, they were comfortably qualifying for the top 4 under Wenger. We're not even doing that. So whatever's going on here, it's been a crap season, right? And you got 2 of our main rivals going for the league. One of our main rivals in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Liverpool are pulling up trees. They're doing amazing. And it really is painful. It's painful to watch. So I hope that Ollie is the man, because I'm hearing rumours about Bale on loan. Ollie, if you bring Bale in on loan, I will get you and your will, and I will shove it where the sun doesn't shine. It's time for this club to make the right decisions, to bring players who are at a good enough age to take on a few challenges. We need to look at players from 20 to 25, right? 25 is good experience. You don't need them any older. Gareth Bale is basically an injury-prone, sick-note player. We do not want him. He's rejected us again and again. And now that he's desperate, he's going to come to OT. No way. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am fuming here. I am fed up. I just don't understand. It's basic. We have the money. We should be able to put the tools in place to be a successful football club like we used to. All you have to do is have a good technical director, a good manager, a good coaching team. Now, I don't know. what was going on during that 13-14 unbeaten run. I don't know what's going on, who's making the decisions, if Fergie was making the decisions when things were going well. I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense that I'm talking. But I'm talking from the heart. I'm talking from the heart here because I don't get it. I don't get what's going on here. So, Ollie, this is how I look at it, my friend. I will give you, throughout this summer, to make the right decisions for your technical director. Hopefully he's announced, or she, I don't care. But that they're announced that you're a team and you can go out and bring 3 or 4 players at least, right? Get rid of the players you want to get rid of. You've already got rid of Fellaini. Well done. Valencia had to go, but more have to go. I don't care if Phil Jones stays. I don't care if Ashley Young stays. But they can't be first-team players. They cannot be our plan A. And really, they shouldn't even be our plan B. This is what has to happen. A good, solid summer transfer, a clear out, a clear in, right? Get that sorted. Have a strong pre-season, which we didn't do last year under Mourinho. This season's been a car crash. I'll let you off, Ollie, because it's this. You weren't here for the whole season, and then we'll see what you do next season. We'll give you a whole season, and if you're crap, if you're as bad as you were at Cardiff, right, then you will have to go. If you make these changes and nothing's working out, because this guy could potentially relegate us. He could potentially do great things with us as well. We don't know. So he needs that season. Obviously, if we're in relegation trouble, he'll have to go sooner, but oh, I don't want to go there. I don't want to think about that. But right now, it's been a bloody depressing season for Manchester United and us supporters. It really has. Not only are we crap, as I say, we've got the success of Liverpool and Manchester City rubbing in our faces, and it's only going to get worse because one of them's going to win the league. But you know what? It's less painful if City win the league. If Liverpool win the European Cup, that'll be depressing. If they win the league, I tell you what, I'm going to go up. There's a really tall mountain just across the road. I'm going to climb up it and jump off of it. I'm only joking. It's football, of course. I love football. I love Manchester United. But at the end of the day, they're a bunch of rich pricks. And at the end of the day, you have to switch off from it and find something else you're passionate about. I'm passionate about the DCEU. I'm passionate about movies and TV. I'm a writer. I'm a director. So I've got a lot of other things to focus on. But I love Manchester United and I'm really passionate about it. So if anyone actually does end up watching this video, please comment down below. And if enough of you like, share and subscribe to this video and to this channel, I'll do regular Manchester United videos because I love the club and I would like to add it to the subjects that I cover here on Big Mouth. So anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time, if there is a next time. And let's hope we beat City. That's another debate, by the way. If you haven't turned off, right, so some of us want us to throw the towel in against City so Liverpool don't win the league. If Liverpool win the league, it will have nothing to do. Obviously, that helps. That helps big time. But Liverpool have been great all season, but they've also thrown away a lead themselves. So, listen, City would have to be absolutely shit to drop, like, not to get 3 points against us anyway. But we should try our best because we should get top 4. But my final thought here is the best thing for Manchester United is not to get top 4. And before you start downgrading this video and downvoting it, thumbs downing it, think about it. If we generally get into top 4, less money will be spent. They'll think everything's in the gardens rosy again. If we don't get top 4, we're going to give pressure to the Glazers. They're going to have to spend. They're going to have to make the right decisions because they'll be under more pressure to do so. So actually, the best thing for Manchester United is if we don't finish in the top 4. Right, I'm really going now, really, because my voice, I'm about to spew. So thank you very much. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you again later. Remember, I'm at Movies TV Mad on Twitter.